Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Buck. Today we are going to be discussing SCP-166, otherwise known as Teenage Succubus. SCP-166 is a European female human in its late teens with ungulate features, possessing antlers, hooved feet, and a short tail reminiscent of Rangifer tarandus, more commonly referred to by the colloquial term reindeer. Despite these obvious abnormalities, DNA analysis reveals no abnormal genetic traits. SCP-166 is contained in Biocontainment Zone C at Site 19, which has been modified to include a hermetically sealed antechamber and an industrial-strength air purifier. Containment staff must wear the specifically designated 166 biohazard suits at all times when inside SCP-166's containment area. Due to SCP-166's unique physiological needs, a variety of loose-fitting organic cotton clothing has been provided to be rotated monthly. All meals are to be cooked according to the guidelines provided, with as little inorganic additives as possible. Reasonable requests for personal items and modifications to the containment suite must be approved personally by Site Director Light. To date, SCP-166 has been granted the following items requested: a copy of the Holy Bible, Douay Rheims Challoner revision, a Catholic rosary, access to a Catholic priest for confession, mass, and other sacraments. Chaplain Davis has been scheduled to meet with SCP-166 on alternating Sundays after a thorough decontamination process, and various books and magazines, mostly religious in nature. SCP-166 is a destructive, yet non-violent force. Within a 15-meter radius of SCP-166, artificial objects gradually return to an unworked state. Higher complexity objects like electronics or vehicles are affected quicker, with degradation of their metallic components causing catastrophic structural failure in a matter of hours. Rudimentary materials, such as stone buildings or products made of organic materials, decay at a virtually imperceptible rate. Within the same radius, plant life will begin to sprout, often growing in improbable places such as out of security cameras or ID scanners. SCP-166 possesses a possibly anomalous sensitivity to artificial material and pollutants, with inhalation or contact causing pressure ulcers and symptoms of acute asthma attacks. In one case, physical proximity to a smoker caused SCP-166 to undergo a severe asthma attack, even though the doctor at the time had not smoked for 3 weeks. SCP-166 was discovered at the Our Lady of Mercy Convent in County Galway, Ireland, where it had lived since infancy. It was confirmed by a defecting Global Occult Coalition agent to be the child of threat entity 9927 Black, the Goddess, also known as SCP-4231-A, who was terminated by a GOC strike team in what would be known as the Cornwall Incident. The GOC description of SCP-166 is as follows. Threat entity is the child of incarnated LTE-9927 Black, the Goddess, and an unknown father. While it strongly resembles its mother and shares its animalistic features, it lacks the extreme bestial appearance of 9927 Black. It possesses minor chlorokinetic abilities, but primary reason for threat entity classification is the instinctive knowledge and eligibility to enact occult procedure clockwork Black Child Havila, a worldwide ritual working that would irreversibly regress human civilization to Neolithic standards. Strike Team Lancelot neutralized 9927 Black in England during an operation which would later be known as the infamous Cornwall Incident, but were unable to confirm the liquidation of 9927 Blackchild due to the death of the strike leader, Agent Ukulele. Ukulele was posthumously awarded the Silver Aegis for his lifelong service to humanity. As many of you already know, Agent Ukulele is none other than the Foundation's own DrClef. Before Clef's defection, he was able to smuggle SCP-166 into a Catholic convent in County Galway, Ireland. It lived there until the age of 12, at which point a visitor to the convent accidentally witnessed SCP-166 and reported it to authorities. The agent then contacted the Foundation, agreeing to share GOC intelligence in return for the guaranteed safety and containment of SCP-166. The following is an excerpt from one of SCP-166's many scheduled conversations with Chaplain Davis.
Good morning, child.
Good morning, Father.
As usual, I have to remind you that due to our environment, the seal of confession will not take place unless specifically invoked. Even then, details of our conversation can be unsealed if they're determined to be essential. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Now, how are you doing?
Good. One of the staff told me about Benedict yesterday. Is that true?